us, the people, are the patrimony. That's, I mean, it's wonderful to have fabulous pipe organs and lots of stained glass and gorgeous buildings and everything, but we can have just as serious an Anglican patrimony in a storefront church. Why is that? Because the patrimony is us. It's in our hearts. It's the way we think. And I have come to realize, as I have found myself so quickly and easily able to slip back into gatherings like this and not feel like a foreigner. In fact, I was telling someone the other day, when I go to gatherings of priestly gatherings in my archdiocese, and I've known these priests for more than a quarter of a century. I like them, and we get along all right. When I've been subsequently with gatherings of like this with somebody in the Anglican clergy, to my amazement, I feel a whole lot more comfortable here. I feel like I really am amongst family in a special way. I mean, when I'm with the archdiocesan priests, I love them, but it's sort of like being with cousins. And it's just made me yearn to have us together again. It's been too long. A generation has gone by, and we now need to get our family back together so that we can really do what God has ordained that we do. And I mean, you don't get a much higher authority than the Vicar of Christ himself saying, "This is what I want you to do. We need you." I mean, the whole sub-theme, the whole foundation of Anglicanorum Coetibus is, we want you and need you with your gifts. So please come. Let's do this together. To see such marvelous men. Like, well, I mean, after meeting Ken and Bauer, I'm thinking, damn, we really need him. I mean, looking around at all of you. I mean, we need you to make this strong as it should be. I don't think there'll be any holding us back then. I believe, and I wish to be in union with the Vicar of Christ and with the visible Catholic Church on earth. Once you've signed that profession of faith, you then make your confession and you begin receiving communion. I then present them for confirmation the next time the bishop comes.
Okay.
By the way, our bishops did sign a statement very similar to that in their petition that they wrote before. So it's interesting that any bishop would not want to move forward at this point, having already signed exactly a statement saying that the Pope is the Vicar of Christ, and that the See of Peter is the essential center and head of the Church, and that and signing the Catechism. So there is a bit of a disconnect between what I've seen now out there and what was being talked about even a year ago.
I just want to clarify on that last thing. I mean, does this apply to somebody who comes from like a non-denominational church as well as an Anglican?
In our case, if they've come from a non-denominational church, usually by the time they get to us, they have done an incredible amount of reading themselves. They don't just show up on our doorstep one day. I'm amazed at how bright and well-informed a lot of these folks are. I then ask them to go through that course of study, which they happily do. And I mean, so far, I've seen some very complete Catholics come out the other end. It works beautifully, but for anyone who's actually going to make that kind of a move, they've been reading, they've been studying. In fact, most of them, they're quoting from encyclicals that I haven't even read yet. This is how they've dug so much into the Catholic faith.